Okay.
Mooji, you were right.
Thank you.
If one runs away, is blessed, but something fades away. I was at your home and I was blind by arrogance and anger, and I couldn't embrace the love that it was being given to me. Now, I told myself that I was okay all the time, and it was okay. It has been great. But my question is, can I get rid of arrogance and cynicism?
Yes, everyone can. You can transcend it. It's not that you can get it and throw it away, but you can transcend it. The transcendence is really the name of the game of life, I feel. It's not that you must fight with these forces, but you transcend them. And there's infinite space to transcend. Transcend means you must go to a higher place within your own self. Go to higher ground within yourself. Rather than get into street fights with your mind, go to higher ground. When you go to higher ground, I mean that you go to a pure form of consciousness. And from that state, the mind cannot, is punching at your shoes. Go to higher state, and you're out of reach of it. If you stay in the personal mode of consciousness, which we can, and we all must initially taste that, or every human being that came into this play of manifestation through consciousness, we are compelled. Whether you were a Buddha or a Christ or a Krishna, in the early part you are compelled actually to taste conditioning and to experience life through personhood for a while. It's a gross form of consciousness, that stage, but somehow the consciousness has manifested this state that it must use its own powers of discernment, aspiration, love, introspection, meditation, inquiry, to transcend these, to inquire into the nature of these forces and into itself, and to transcend the grip of them, of the psychological mind. It has to.
Right now there is something, it's not really saying something, it's as if there is a sensation and then there is a thought putting content into that sensation. And
this is what I've been saying from before, that something arises inside, manifests inside as a feeling or a sensation or whatever like that, and by itself it is okay. Where the trouble comes is that as soon as these energies manifest, some tendency to some interpreting energy come and begins to interpret what the significance of this prior feeling is, and it is that interpretation experienced through the personal consciousness that gives off the bad smell. It is not the original feeling. The feeling by itself can be met in different ways, depending upon the strength of your maturity, the depth of your maturity, and so on.
How can this be then transcend completely so it doesn't happen again?
Well, how it is transcended is that you must move from the mode of person into the state of presence. The presence is really, the heart of the person is presence, and the heart of presence is absolute awareness. You must move. All beings are compelled to evolve. It's not only by choice. In fact, your choice is also a bit of an illusion. But while we have the sense of choice, we must use it. And the highest sense of choice is not to get pulled into the mind streams of these thought streams, but to observe them, but then pay attention to that which observes them. Because normally the energy is going outward through the senses to contact the sense objects. And wherever the attention goes and contacts, that is being registered as our experience. So while we are in the state of personhood, we can't get out of that. We are in a very volatile state, very much interacting and very cynical, resistant, arrogant, insecure. All these are the, I would say, the attributes or the qualities and tendencies of the lower state of consciousness, which I call personhood. And largely on this planet, consciousness in the form of human beings are functioning more in the mode of personhood. Spirituality means that somehow the consciousness begins to tire of the personal role and now aspires to retract back into its original place. That is called the evolution of consciousness. And so what happens is that it's a shift happens from the sense of person towards the, you may say, the intuitive consciousness, or the sense of presence, or the feeling of being, which is above personhood. From the beingness, the beingness has no personal quality. The beingness, the sense in you that announces itself, I am. That's the consciousness that announces, I am. I am the existence here. Am means to be. I am here. That's what it is. But this I amness is not personal. It's not male or female. It has no favorite religions. It is not a belief system. You see? It is pure consciousness. But as soon as it manifests, it also needs some kind of instrument, even to announce its presence, as to say, I am. So the body, it announces, I am. And that is consciousness. But it also compels this consciousness to extend more by identifying with the body. And as soon as it believes, I am the body, okay, it doesn't have to say that, it just believes I'm the body, then other forms of conditioning can pour in on top of that fundamental belief. And there is born the sense of the person. And then consciousness, you may say, has fallen. This is the fall from grace. But it's all part of the design of this universal manifestation, that consciousness must experience the fall, which is to fall again into the state, I am the body, I am the form. Once it believes I am the body, it came into time. When it came into time, it came into the realm of change, where there is birth and life and death. And consciousness, which is deathless, begin to suffer from the notion of life and death. And that begins the birth of suffering, selfishness, anxiety, projection, all these things come. But nobody is singularly guilty for this. From there, what you must do is consciousness in its individual expression, in form, must inquire into its nature, or other factors which are affecting the consciousness. It must use these to evolve. No one is exempt from this, and you will evolve according to your kind of destiny. The destiny is operative up to a point, but there's no destiny for the self. Destiny is for the body-mind and beingness. It's in that realm that destiny applies. And while we are in that role of movement and growth, we have the sense that I am the doer of my actions and the thinker of my thoughts. And once you assume that identity, you reap the joys and the benefits of karma or destiny for a while, until finally you evolve into the state of pure consciousness. Then you have transcended everything. It is a play like that.
There is what says like, okay, then like asking you like, then what to do, or you see how
and
to
these
do
questions can be answered You know,
Okay.
these questions can be answered depending upon your question indicates where you have located yourself, you see? What to do normally comes from the place of the person, what to do. In consciousness, you listen and you follow the pointings, and they bring you to a very spacious place. In that place, there's no trouble, so there's no question what to do. You see? When you're in the state of presence, you don't have the feeling what to do. You're in a state of joy and peace in your natural state.
So there's nothing that this I can do. There's nothing I can do. Because
the universal consciousness in its form of the life force is the animating power in the universe. It is what is causing activities to happen. The consciousness in the form of the person, imagine it is the individual doer of those actions. This is not an easy one to understand though, because you say, but of course I am responsible for my action. If I want to move this flower from here to here, I can do that. It's my choice. What else is acting upon me to determine if I want to do this and throw it and so on? Only I am doing it. So then it feels, then how can you say that something causes me to do that? Only later you come to realize that all of this also is the activity of consciousness.
The person comes up and then asks, well, how can I then come out of the person? But it's the person asking that.
And the consciousness responds and say, relax, don't fight. Even this desire, how can I come out? Even this desire is also observed in you. You see? At first, the person consciousness doesn't really feel comfortable with that. It wants a kind of answer that fits the kind of question he thinks he's asking, which is, what do I do? And the consciousness knows in that scenario, there's nothing you as a person can do. But you are more than a person, you are consciousness. And I'm going to speak to you as consciousness. Therefore I say, just observe, which is a consciousness answer. Just observe that the one who is saying, there's nothing I can do, try to find that one. And you will come to see, there is no one actually that's saying that. It is a thought that arises in consciousness when consciousness believes it is a person. And this believed person believes it is asking, how can I change this? It is like some characters in a book is asking, you know, I want to tell you something, but I don't want the author to know. Okay? Let's go and talk. Okay? But I don't want the author to know. Okay? Just between you and me. Okay? So even this talk is the author's thoughts. But in the story, the characters believe, but they are also not real. But within themselves, in their own belief, which consciousness can do, they believe themselves to be real. It is a bit like that. Is it frustrating what I'm speaking?
No.
No. So therefore, as you come out of this limited field of consciousness into the knowing field, and wait a second, all that is just imagined. I'm all the time here. I am inside this body, but I'm in this body believing I'm the person in the body rather than I'm the consciousness in the body. And by believing that, I believed it into existence. And so I became a person. Can I speak like that? And only as you are moving from one state into another state can you look back and evaluate the state you were in before. While you're in the state, it feels like it's everything. When you're coming out, you realize, oh, but that was a bit tiny state. You see, only as you're leaving one state to another state, you can look back and say, wow, I was thinking that I was a person for a very long time, and I realized that a person is just my imagination. Even then I was consciousness, but I was somehow in the dream of myself as a person. You see? What an amazing discovery. Because upon realizing this, the whole unfolding of your life takes on a different reading. A much more beautiful reading. much more fluid. No anxiety, no fear, no depression. Those belong to the person. You have outgrown that mode. You have transcended it. You have overcome it. This is what Jesus spoke actually. When he said to his friends, his disciples, trust in God, which is the pure consciousness. Trust also in me, he says, because I have overcome the world. What is he speaking about? I have overcome the world. He is a person that probably hadn't left Palestine or wherever he is in that region, I was saying. He didn't come to Jamaica. I don't think he went there. I don't think he went to America or South America or Finland. I don't think he went there. How could he overcome the world? He meant, I overcome this. This is the world you have to overcome. It is always speaking to you, telling you this and this and that. You must transcend that voice. And you transcend it by returning to your original nature of consciousness. And this is provable. Our time in Satsang is not giving you lectures and things for you to make notes, but for you to follow directly and realize the state you originally are. And then you see if these things trouble you anymore. They will not trouble you. They exist only in the domain of the person. In the state of pure consciousness, they don't exist. You say, how can you, get out of that? Actually, when you're out of it, there's no mind fighting you. When you're in it, in the belief, in that as you manifest as person, consciousness manifests as psychological mind. And the relationship will begin between the mind, which will behave as though it is your friend and your enemy. And it's there to help you grow. But the more person you believe yourself to be, the mind you'll be in states of delusions. When you come out of it, you may even say, thank you to mind. Thank you. Thank you for beating me up, for telling me all those lies, so that I had to wake up because your lies were hurting. But my belief was due to my ignorance and my arrogance also. That a human being, born as we are, conditioned as we are, in a world where it seems like there's unending fascination, unending places and things to be fascinated by, to transcend this field of intense sensory perception and desires, and also imagination, and all the urges and the memories and the exaggerations and the poor interpretations and the miscomprehensions and all of this, and to awaken to their true state as pure joy and light and wisdom and love. This is the miracle in this world. You have to become the proof that God is. Not the speculator. Blessed is the one whose life is the evidence of truth.
You are.
For this reason, I have come to you. I cannot give you this. I can only help to remove that which somehow seems to obscure the intuitive recognition of the timeless self in you. For that reason, I'm come. By the grace of God, I'm come. To demonstrate to you that you are love itself incarnate.
Mooji.
Yes. It is grace, Paramatman in the form of grace, who is stirring your heart and calling you home. Not calling you home because this is time to leave this planet. No, but to also shine the light of God's grace and love and peace here, because that is what we need. To remind the human beings of their greatness. But not their greatness and that comes through ill-perceived arrogance, but their greatness is life itself, imperishable existence, pure consciousness, unfading grace. To awaken to this, not to simply believe. You're not here just to get involved in belief systems, but to know, to recognize, and be. That is, in my view, the highest opportunity in the human kingdom. And it is provable. You are the proof. You will be the proof. It is not your mind that called you here. It is your higher wish. It is the pull of grace. It is your yearning for true life that brought you here. But there is a power within us, a capacity to invite the darkness and to work in the ways that create pain and suffering, what this world needs not more of. I said for thousands of years, hundreds of years, beings have been coming to places like this, Rishikesh, with the same quest to find the imperishable self. Hundreds and thousands of beings together, just like we are today, on hilltops and caves and by the Ganga, to discuss these things. Many of them, they found what they wanted. Their bodies are no more here. Our bodies are here. We are the new wave of the human experience. But the same question we are asking: who am I? Where I'm from? What is my purpose here? It looks like the end. If I believe myself merely to be this body and personality, I am going to come to an end some point. But if I realize myself as timeless consciousness, timeless awareness, then I know I'm the imperishable self. Yes. I have not missed my chance like this. It is for you, for each of us. Come. Huh? Okay. Thank you, everybody, today.